In 2018, we embarked on the journey of a lifetime, living and traveling full-time in our self-converted van.
We're gonna go for it.
Join us as we continue to explore the beauty around us, one adventure at a time.
Today we are just outside of Inverness, Florida, and this is called Potts Preserve. It's a wildlife management area. It's free camping, and it does have primitive campsites with picnic tables and fire pits, but you're probably wondering why we're camping right out in the open in a field here. And so you can reserve one of two places. You can reserve one of the campsites or the equestrian area, and that's this field. And that's where we're at. And the reason why we reserved this is because there is a rainstorm forecasted in our future for tomorrow. And we're up on a slab right here, so it can rain as much as it wants to. We don't have to worry about any nearby trees hanging right over the top of us. So I think that's a pretty good location. If the sun does come out, we're in a good location to actually get some sun, but it looks like it's going to be all rain. So there's a bunch of trails here and a river, a lot to explore. I'm looking forward to, rain or shine, getting out on the trails. All right, so here is the upper primitive camping area. There are 6 different sites that I counted here, and there's a few more that are down by the river, and I'll take you down there as well. But they're pretty set up. They got picnic tables, barbecue grills, and a place for a campfire. And there is water here, and I'm not sure why this one comes with a broken bucket, but as you can see, it's non-potable. Do not drink. And the question is, does it work? All right, yeah, it does work. So there is water to wash up here, but I'm not even sure I would filter and drink that. I just don't know what's going on. I don't have enough information. But I like to see these barbecue pits. That'd be great to cook something on. And these are pretty nice. I just like the way there's palm trees, there's pine trees. Very nicely kept. So you can see that we're camped across the field, but if you follow the field back and you start coming into the trees, there's a few more places back here to camp. So I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 4 more locations. And I think earlier I said this was the river, but I think the river's a little bit further away, and this is just kind of some swampland back here. But I want to go take a look. The only thing I'd be worried about camping back in here is one, there's so many oak trees. They are beautiful, but you're not going to get any sun all day long for your solar if you do have solar. If you don't have solar, not a big deal. But because the water is right here, there's a good chance that the bugs, mosquitoes, flies, whatever you have, are going to be a lot worse. Oh, look at all these mushrooms coming up. Those look almost like fly amanita. Maybe not. I don't see any spots on them, so. But here's the water right here. And it's not the kind of water you want to play in, swim in. And it's too thick to boat in. But now, Rudel and I are going for a walk. There's a couple of things I just want to talk about along the way on this walk. So join me and stay to the end of the video, because on the end of these videos, if you're new to this channel, we talk about what you need to know. And this particular water management area has some very interesting things going on, so we will share those with you at the end of the video. It's the perfect day for a walk. It's about 50 degrees. There's a cool front moving through. Off and on showers, but nothing raining too hard. I'm pretty much happiest anytime I've got my hat and at least a light jacket on. I just don't like to be overheated. So for me, this is the best time of year to come to Florida, and probably a lot of other people too. I'm walking up this road and I spotted some bear scat, and I didn't see any signs about bears in this particular campground. But I did want to say that if you're in Florida, this is bear country, especially northern Florida. So make sure you're not leaving your food out. We've seen that often already here. People are leaving food out on their picnic table or near their fire, even ice chest. So that's the kind of thing you want to keep up, locked away or in your vehicle, because it draws the bear to the camp, and then the bear gets the easy food, and then it comes back and it comes back again, because it's of course going to come to where it can get that food and put the less effort in as possible. And that's when the bear starts becoming a problem. It gets a little too familiar with people, and then something happens and you've got bear problems. So don't leave any food out. So I'm thinking I'm about halfway there right now, maybe another mile or so through the trees, and I should be at the river, I'm hoping. Before I go for hikes like this, I always pull up Google Maps if we have internet connection, and just try to get a bearing where I'm going and what to expect, so I don't get lost. But this one here is pretty easy. I've marked a couple of the roads which turns to make just by making a mark in the sand. And I noticed that the tree line was at about halfway, so that lets me know that I'm almost there. Well, I can tell something's been rooting around here, and you can see where it's digging up the sand and making little holes in the ground. If I had to guess, I would say it's a wild pig, since I've seen some of that before, but not here in Florida. And Rudel sure is interested. And that's one of those things we definitely do not want to run into. Yeah, I know, Rudel. Come on. Check this tree out. All right, so now the mosquitoes are starting to come out. I'm thinking I must be getting close to the river. There is a lot of wild pig activity here. I went through some stretches where all the ground was torn up. A couple of the palm trees were unrooted. So there must be quite a pack of them out here. I may end up just taking the highway back, because I don't want Rudel in a situation where there's wild pigs around, and I don't want to be in that situation either. Anyhow, I feel a little uncomfortable. As you can see, Rudel's on leash, and that partly is because he's required to be on leash here, and the other part is the wild pigs. So what I usually do is I stick my hand through the loop and then I wrap it around, so I got a real good hold on him. In the west, one time we were walking, and thankfully he was on the leash, but he started chasing a javelina. I think that was in Arizona, but I was able to restrain him. Otherwise, I think he would have got himself way in over his head. And definitely don't want that happening out here with all this activity going on. And he smells them too. Anytime we come across an area that's been dug up or rooted up, he's got his nose right in there. And that lets me think that he's about ready to chase them. I don't want to be around those critters either. And this is what usually happens is, I think I'm only gonna go 3 or 4 miles, so I don't bring a pack, but I should know better. Should bring a pack no matter what. With extra water in it for Rudel and me. And just some emergency supplies. But here we are, over 3 miles into it. And no sign of the river yet, even though I am seeing more signs of people. So it's gonna be at least 6, 7, 8 mile trip by the time I'm done with no pack. So once we hit the campground, I know they have water at the campground. So at least for Rudel. We're coming up on a sign. No vehicles beyond this point. And I'm thinking the campground is just down this road. At least I'm hoping it is. And we're still going. Some marshy water here. Very shallow. Stay behind me, Rudel. All right, go ahead, it's safe. Come on. All right, well, no, not very many vehicles are gonna make it through that one. And we keep going. If we were smarter, we would have turned around. Oh, Rudel. Really starting to hope that we get to this campground pretty soon, or at least somewhere where there's people. Probably gonna have to ask for water, which is embarrassing. This trail I'm on has been freshly marked with blue paint, and it does have trail signs on it. And a little bit of waterway there in the distance. So I think we're heading in the right direction. Now the road has turned into a trail. I could have kept following the road, but I actually want to get to a trailhead of any sort. So we're gonna keep following the blue paint. Feels like we're in the jungle. The trail keeps getting worse and worse. Yeah, I don't know, Rudel. I don't see. Come on, let's go this way. Maybe it comes out here. All right, we made it to the other entrance. I thought we were gonna end up in the campground by the river, but we ended up at the other entrance.
Good morning from the Southwest Water Management District. I think Dave probably gave you a little bit of a view of this campground already. Now, when I reserved us this week, there were no spots here at Hickory Hammock. And you can see it's wide open. There is one tent down here. But today we are going to move just a couple of miles to the Hootie River camp spot in Potts Preserve. Now, I tried to cancel our reservations here, and for the life of me, I could not figure out how to cancel it. So I don't know if this is people who reserved but couldn't cancel, are reserved and change their mind because of the deep cold front moving through Florida. So we're gonna get packed up and go check out the Hootie River campsite. I can't open them.
I don't know, you have to tug really hard on them. I think that's the secret. Now we are here at the second site. This is still Potts Preserve, but to get to this other campsite, you have to go down another road and it has its own locked gate. And this is down Hootie Road. And I think that might be referring to owls since we've been hearing owls every single night. And at the there's a few campsites along the road and this is at the very end. These are the walk into sites and it's only a couple 100 feet into them, real close to where you're parking, and they're right on the river. And this is the Withlacoochee River, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. But that's beautiful, just being able to camp down right on the river like this, and there's hardly anybody using these campsites. And I think there's 4 of them total. Most of them just have the picnic tables and the fire pits like this one, but they're tucked in the trees enough to where one is private from the next one right beside you. And the water's like pretty black. I mean, you can't see through it more than a foot. I definitely would not swim in here. It's a real dark coffee color. And that's probably as close as I'm gonna get to the edge. I have seen a few boaters out here fishing. I haven't seen any fish jump. And the last site is just around these palm trees. Yeah, these are all nice. A lot of river access, nice private place to hang out. Just super nice little area. And there are trails here. I do think you should probably look at all trails before you take any of them. I spent maybe 4 hours hiking one of the trails and I felt like I could get lost because there was a lot of left turns and right turns and it was pretty thick. So a good idea to bring a pack with you. Oh, there's one more site over here. Bring a pack with you, check out all trails. Another guy was here, he was hiking it. Him and his wife, they hiked for, I think he said 6 hours or something crazy like that, and had to turn around and come back because they didn't want to get lost. We are taking full advantage of this little camp spot down by the river, and I threw a bag of charcoal and we're gonna cook some steak and potatoes tonight.
All right, they are done. I'm gonna take them inside. I'm gonna put a little slab of butter on top and we're gonna let them rest for about 10 minutes. Does anybody else do this? Do you put butter on your steaks after they're cooked? Steaks are done.
Anytime that we cook potatoes, we like to just do a couple extra, and then we'll pull them off the fire here. We'll let them cool all the way down. We'll put them in the refrigerator, and then tomorrow morning for breakfast, when they're cold, we'll take them out and cut them up into small pieces. Is he trying to get
He's trying to get the steak.
Don't do that, Rudel. We'll cut the potatoes in small pieces and we'll fry them up like country style potatoes, and they come out awesome that way.
They make the best hash browns.
Yes.
Okay, let's see what the verdict is. 2 steaks for $8. Are they any good? Mmm. Mm-hmm. So good.
Stop bothering that.
Rudel, come on. Good boy.
Maverick, get over here.
I'm Maverick.
No. He's the biggest beggar ever.
We don't mind.
Well, we have steak, so he's like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sure he can smell it from a mile away. Maverick.
Look, I like this game.
All right, before we get started, shit, back over, Dave. Look at my new coat. It's green. Dave got it for me at a thrift store here in Florida, and I kind of chuckled to myself thinking, I'm not gonna need this for a while. But here we are in Florida wearing it.
Yeah, it's 24 degrees tonight, forecasted for 19 tomorrow night.
Yeah. Move over a little bit so you're in the light.
Okay.
There you go.
My favorite things about this campsite is that, well, basically it's free, it's clean, and because there's a locked gate, it just doesn't get that many visitors, so you feel like you're here all by yourself.
Yeah, it's quiet. It's super quiet. Now, between the 2 locations, they're both nice, but I think I like the Hootie Lane.
The Hootie Road
one better.
Yep, okay.
Just because it's near the water. I don't know.
They're both nice, and if you do need a water source, there is spigots at the other one on D River.
It's non-potable water.
Yes, and it says do not drink, so this
Yeah.
would be like for doing your dishes or maybe taking a shower, but
Now, for dog friendly, this site is better because there are less stickers, but it's closer to the water, so you have to be more mindful of your dog near the water.
for alligators.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for rig size, you can get any size rig in here. The road is a bit narrow in a couple locations, but I don't think it would stop anybody.
Well, you can get any size rig in both locations.
Yeah, both locations.
Yeah.
Yep.
Our T-Mobile is working very slow at 1 bar of 4G, and our Verizon is not really working at all.
Yeah. So one thing I do want to say, if you're going to book one of these 2 water district sites, they're both called Potts Reserve, and they're only 2 miles apart, but they have a separate entrance and separate locks.
Yes. Okay, so how you reserve these water district management free campsites in Florida. You have to set up an account online. There, I think, are 5 different water districts. You'll need to set up an account for every water district that you want to stay in. And this is the Southwest Water District. We are only 6 miles from Inverness, Florida. Once you set up an account, then you can go in and you can choose your site. So when you click on Potts Reserve, there are like 4 different things you can choose from.
Yep.
There's Hickory Hammock, which is on the other side, and then there's the equestrian part, which we stayed in the field. Over here is the Hootie Lane campground.
Yep.
I think this might actually be equestrian. And then back over there where we had dinner last night, I believe those are walk-in tent sites.
They are. Yep.
So you gotta kind of really look at what's available, what's available to choose from, and then what's available to reserve. Because it seems like they don't let a lot of people in, which is nice.
Yeah, it seems like the camps never fill up. There's always extra campsites left.
Yeah. And this particular one in the Southwest Florida Water Management District, that's a mouthful.
Yeah, yep.
I had the hardest time trying to cancel a reservation. I could not for the life of me figure it out. So you are allowed 30 days in a 1-year period in this water district. What are you looking at, Riddle? And they will not allow you to overlap reservations. So when we were over there at hickory hammock, this spot came available, and I had to sign up under Dave's name. Don't tell anybody. Dave had to get his own account to get in here because I could not cancel the other side.
And also, so the gates are locked up, and they're locked up with paddle locks that have the combination locks on them.
When you make a reservation, they'll tell you which lock to use because they're different color coded, and they will give you the lock combination. And it's hard to open.
So if you're not used to those kind of locks, and I guess neither of us were, but you really have to give them a yank once you get the so you mix the numbers up, make sure that you're starting fresh, and then you put the number code in, and then you got to give it a couple of tugs to break that lock open.
Yeah.
So just be aware of that.
And for the life of me, I could not get the one at the other site. So you really have to give it a good yank.
Yep.
Now I will say this is the perfect spot to go see the manatees.
Yes, so we're only 20 miles away from Crystal River, where there's at least 2, maybe 3 springs where you can take guided tours, self-guided tours, or whatever. And this is the time of year. This is December right now, and I believe January is also a good month. So if you're looking for a free spot to stay and go see the manatees like we did 3 years ago.
And this is the perfect timing right now. It's getting cold and they are moving into the springs. So if you get a chance, we highly, highly, highly suggest. It's one of probably the most favorite, memorable things we've done in 4 years.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Yes,
This is also a good location if you're on your way to Orlando, or maybe you're coming out of Orlando, because we're about 70 miles away and you're still looking for free camping.
Yeah.
So definitely something to set up. Just make sure you have the reservations in place.
All right, what else did we talk about? There's no trash. Basically, there's no water. There is a porta potty at each site.
Yep.
And it's quiet. We've seen the water management district.
Hi, Rudel.
Hi, Rudel.
Oh, he's ready.
Come through almost every day, so they are in the area.
He's going crazy. He's like, it's my turn to
Rudel,
play.
stop. All right, so I guess Rudel's saying that we're done. So
he's like, you guys are done.
we hope you enjoyed this video. If you get a chance, check out the water district management. They're awesome.
Yeah, and we'll leave a link for the manatees if you want to watch that video from a couple years back, because that was just incredible.
It was.
We hope you give this video a thumbs up. We hope you subscribe if you haven't already, and we will see you next week.
Or next year. It could be next year.
Yeah. Where's your ball? Where's your ball, Rudel? Let's go get it. Let's go get it. If you would like to support our channel, please consider becoming a patron, or check out our new merchandise at oneadvantureatatime.com. We also have stickers available in our website store. Thank you for watching.